Hey, Coach, are you always looking for a way to give your team a competitive advantage? Let me introduce you to Winning Edge Performance Analytics. Our technology captures comprehensive game data using your terminology and provides you with in-game analytics. In real time, you're able to quickly assess your opponent's tendencies and perform self-scout on the sidelines. Winning Edge is designed to help you spot more opportunities during the game so that you're not left wishing you'd noticed something during film review. Plus, Winning Edge automates film tagging, so you can say goodbye to hours of manually tagging over the weekend and get more time with your family. Our product is also budget friendly for programs of any size. And as a Coaching 101 listener, you'll get a 20% discount off your first year with promo code 20 off Coaching 101. All one word, no spaces. If more family time and more wins sound good, visit winningedgeperformanceanalytics.com to schedule a demo. We'll help get your team the advantage that you're looking for.
This podcast is powered by Team Builder Practice. Team Builder Practice is all the things you love about Team Builder's OG strength and conditioning software, but for football coaches. Keep practice plans in one central location, stay organized, and share plans with your whole staff with our software, designed with the football coach in mind. Team Builder Practice is offering a 30-day free trial to all listeners with the code COACH101. Head to teambuilder.com/practice to start your trial today. Football made simple. Become great at your craft by finding ways to make it simple for those around you. This is the Coaching 101 podcast hosted by Find a Way Productions with your co-host, Daniel Chamberlain and Kenny Simpson. And we are live. Hello, everyone. Daniel Chamberlain, Coaching 101 podcast. We are diving right off into the afternoon here. This is the Border States Summit. We are up in Quapaw at the Downstream Casino and Resort, I believe is what it's called. It's a fairly beautiful place. After coming back from Round Rock, it definitely has some big shoes to fill. I don't know if you've ever been to the Calamari and Round Rock. That is a resort everyone needs to get to.
I've not.
It's fantastic. This one is not far behind, though. It's right there. It's pretty good. We're here with Ace Sports. Ace Sports, if you don't know, is a video board company nationwide. They're putting up some of the biggest and best-looking video boards in the nation. High school athletics, college athletics, wherever you are. It doesn't even matter what athlete you're coaching. If you're baseball, basketball, football, it doesn't matter. They have a video board or a type of setup for you. As we talked with Coach Beaumont in the last section, he really talked about being able to modify those and create and customize whatever fits your gym. He said he combined the Texas A&M with the Memphis Grizzlies and put it at Fort Smith High School for the North and South. So got two of them. You can really customize and make it whatever you want. Find a budget that fits or a price tag that fits your budget and then swing for the fences, whatever you want to do. So
well, they've got a product that I've seen at a previous show that is like my favorite thing I've ever seen at a show. It's like it's a rolling TV boombox type setup, but it goes down into a waterproof type situation. Anyways, they go on like the sideline. So as you're coming off the field and need to go review film or pictures, depending on where you're at of what's legal in your state,
right?
Pictures, you can gather around that, show up-to-date film, load that into the TV, or bring it out to, they put boat speakers in them. Yeah. So, like, they're waterproof. You can bring them out to the practice field, you can put them, you can sync them up, and completely changes the environment. It's one of the coolest things I saw, and my booth at the OADC show was across from Ace, and I was just locked onto that thing the whole time. And then honestly, I'm glad they didn't bring it this time because I was losing a bit of attention to it right. When I was trying to talk about my stuff. I'm like, chill. I'm like, hey, turn the music down. I'm like, hey, chill.
If Mark was there, the music never goes down.
I'm like, let's get back over here. So anyways.
I've been trying to record a podcast and Mark is turning the volume up. You know what I mean? He does like that noise.
He can handle the bumper music. There you go.
There we go.
That's what you need to do. But I'm a big fan of Ace. I haven't had any need to work directly with Ace, but just seeing setups like this, being at the last show, meeting the people, it's been really cool.
Yeah, they've been really neat about giving back to the community, being the title sponsor here at this this event, which is always big, at, being able to be the title sponsor for something. But they saw the value in it day one. They were first year. Here we are in our third year, still doing things. So excellent. Got guys like RJ joining us right now. Hi, RJ. Ryan's been here all day, but the guys, the professionals are here really trying to talk to the ADs, talk to the coaches, letting them know the value behind esports. Asports.com. You've heard me spill it on 1,000 podcasts now, so I won't go too much into it on this session. I'm ready to talk about Team Sports Consulting Group, though.
For sure.
For y'all that don't know, so me and Trav both are in the OU football world. I'm not nearly as much as Trav is, but that's where I knew him from originally. And then he jumps off into Team Sports Consulting, which, of course, now he's here at the same conventions I'm at. Yeah. We have the same customer base. So it's been really neat to kind of watch his transformation from, and we still have to have that conversation. Restaurant owner, great steakhouse, burger joint, bar, sells off and now jumps into this thing 2 feet in. Of JP and Trav fame. What else are you doing? You're on a radio show?
Yep, KREF, the Home of Center fans. Dari Noka just joined the station with a daily show, so that's been fun. Obviously, your heavy hitters like Teddy Lehman and Tyler McComas and Chris Plank and Parker Thune, Mike Steely, all those guys still at the station. Josh Helmer now with Dari. So doing a lot of big things there. Still doing post-game shows for OU football, which I'll tell you what, hazard pay after last year, I swear. Everybody talks about how upset they were after a 6-7 season. You didn't have to sit through drunken phone calls from fans telling you that. I think they tried to fire me at some point. I can't believe you lied to me and said we'd be good. I didn't say we'd. I thought we might. I was hopeful. I was optimistic.
Look, you got to go into every year with some optimism,
good,
especially at OU football.
It's the only way to stay mentally healthy, or at least stable to some degree. Because, man, it is. I don't know how I could just go into every season assuming the worst, but I hope for the. Just like in life, I plan for the worst, but hope for the best.
That's right.
Yeah.
This year, a lot. Obviously, I don't want to get too far off on the OU tangent because we could just talk OU football for an hour.
Easy to do.
I'm excited. I hate to admit that we let our season tickets lapse this year because of coaching and fanning they just don't pair. I'm supposed to coach till midnight on Friday night and then try to get up and hit a 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m., whatever kickoff, et cetera, et cetera. It just made it really difficult, and the kids weren't enjoying it, and so it's like we're paying for a lot of seats and not getting the value out of them. So.
Yeah, I think what I think is important is showing your kids that if something's difficult, just go ahead and give up on it.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Good God, who did I bring on this show?
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Hey, man, it's really difficult to only get 7.5 hours of sleep and make sure that we can get to OU football games. But I think you're doing it the right way. So I know you won't regret that at all. So.
Not at all. We do already regret. The seats were amazing. The group that we got to hang out with on those Saturdays was a really good group. We'll jump back into them in a year or so when things kind of work their way out in our professional lives. But
do you have their contacts, people you used to sit with?
Possibly.
Okay, because then maybe if somebody can't go or whatever, might be able to kind of plug. That's what's so cool about having season tickets for a while in certain places is you develop your own little pocket community in there, and then it's hey. I got people in town, you got an extra, hey, you can really mix and match. I got a buddy, Paul Doobie, that every week it seems like he's doing that. He's like, I got 4, they got 4. I'm like, you need a full-time job as a ticket broker just with your seats. But it's cool to get the development because, I'm a vocal guy, if that's not obvious already, but just, the turnaround high-fiving, the talking about, suffering with them, cheering with them, the highs and the lows. You're around these type of people and you're shoulder to shoulder with them. It's cool to kind of develop that, camaraderie.
Yeah, last year was who did they give the tickets away to this week, unfortunately, which is what happens, right?
Yeah.
When the season's going down the tank a little bit, the tickets get a lot cheaper for the guys. So.
Yep.
Anyway, nothing like the environment. Love OU football. Definitely would like. Maybe that's the next podcast I'll start. We'll just talk OU ball. But
there you go.
As if there isn't enough of those. What's up, coaches? I want to talk to you for just a few moments about your program. The longer I'm in this profession, the more I understand that efficiency is truly the name of the game. You're talking offense, defense, doesn't matter, right? Eventually, you're going to come down to checking out your efficiency. So I have to ask you, are you doing everything in your program the most efficient way, right? Are you fundraising the most efficient way? Are you representing your players and your program to the public in the best way? Are you planning to build the facilities the most efficient way? If you answered no to any of those, or really even if you answered yes to all of them, and you haven't contacted Mark Bridges at Ace Sports, you're missing a key step. So look, Mark and his team, they are the go-to group for video board and scoreboard installations for your school. They're not just football either. Mark can help you mock up your newest video board for your that new stadium, or maybe even your old stadium, right? That's where Mark and the guys come in. And we're not just buying a flashy thing, right? Yes, it's nice. It's pretty neat to have that big scoreboard, that big video board, but you're also, you're investing back into that program. You're investing into that newest fundraiser. Sure, you can keep selling your discount cards, your beef jerky, hosting pie auctions, whatever it is that you like to do. But let's just be honest with ourselves, guys. We're not making enough money for those big ticket items. For the big ticket items like turf, an indoor facility, that's where you need a big ticket item fundraiser. That's what Ace Sports is offering you today. Guys, I've talked to Mark several times now, right? And it always comes down to big school, small school, right? Well, of course, the big schools can afford that new video board, but the small schools really can't. It's just not true anymore, man. Your school isn't too small, and I promise, okay? 1A, 2A schools, it doesn't matter. Mark and the guys, they're helping them out. Contact Mark today at mark.bridges@acesports.com and let him come give you a quote. Let him show you and your administration the plan. Now, really, it's the cheat code, right? Let him show you the cheat code that is fundraising with Ace Sports video boards. Tell him Daniel sent you. This episode is brought to you by Athletic Speed and Movement. At athleticspeedmovement.com, we've taken Del Basquet's 45 years of speed and movement training and put it all in one place just for you. You can get the same training that NFL players have been getting for years, collegiate players have been getting for years, and now high schools across the nation are paying thousands of dollars to bring Dell in to install his system, but we've got it online for you. It's time to help your team become faster, not just in the 40, not just their sprint speed, but between the tackles and their cuts while they're chasing down the quarterback. It's time for you to help them become faster everywhere. Jump over to athleticspeedmovement.com. There's an orange button there. Just click it. It says, get the keys to playing faster. You'll get the 3 core movement video from Dell. He's explaining the science behind it, all for just the price of your email. Check it out, athleticspeedmovement.com. We came today to talk about Team Sports Consulting Group. Really, back on the relationships message and the meeting kids where they are. That's kind of like one of my favorite quotes in football because it works in every aspect of ball. As a coach, it's scheme, it's honestly academics, it's how are you working with them on the weekends and how late can you keep them after practice and all. Everything is meet your kids where they are because not everyone's life is the same. Not everyone has the same life experience. No one cares about football as much as the coaches, and we hate that that's the case, but especially in high school era, right, or that level, the kids don't care about football as much as I do, and so we have to meet them where they are and try to bring them where we need them. Mm-hmm. And I feel like what you do allows coaches to do that on a more like precision cut, right? Like we know exactly where we're going. So for those that don't know you, that are here just because I talk football all the time, have an introduction of you and kind of what you do with Team Sports Group.
Yeah, thank you. Team Sports Consulting Group, for the uninitiated, we're a relational psychology company. We have a 100% retention rate with coaches for a reason. Everybody that works with us the next year always moves it up earlier because they want the information as quickly as possible. What we do is there's like a 4 or 5 minute survey that we put out, and we do it with the coaches and the players, which I think is really important because, Coach, like, there are products out there in the market that just do the players. I'm like, first of all, how do you ask your players to do something that you're not willing to do as a coach?
Right.
And then also, player-to-player communication is fantastic, but how are you not breaking down the coach-player relationships? That doesn't make much sense to me. I'm like, so what we do is we start with the head coach, do a one-on-one, right? Much like I did with you, right? So one-on-one, let's go over your results. Let's make sure you understand it. And then next, we teach the head coaches to the assistant staff, and they have their own readout. And it's a 24-page document that is wildly accurate, scary accurate, more accurate than he even knew. I was telling him things about himself he didn't even know.
Some of y'all don't know the backstory here. I took this thing probably close to a year ago-ish.
Yeah.
6 months to a year. And I did it, and the read back basically told me a bunch of things about myself that I knew and didn't want to admit, to the point that I was like, nah, Trav, that's not true. Until we got deeper into the readout, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this thing's got me pinned exactly.
Yep.
So, yeah, pretty wild.
So we deliver incredible, our kind of core principles are speed, ease, and accuracy. We know that, you mentioned, kids on the weekends or like, extra practice. You can't do that in high school to a certain amount, right? Like there's only certain amounts of time you are restricted to spend with kids. So you need to expedite and deepen relationships. Everybody talks about relationships. We're right here in the pavilion, and we can hear the speeches that are going on. You know, obviously we've got the mic set up here, everything's really dialed in, obviously for the podcast, but you can hear the speeches, and it's amazing how many of them are talking about culture and communication. I'm like, well, there's science behind that. You can manufacture that, not to say manufacture as if it's fake, but you can help with that. You can make it easier on yourself. So speed, ease, and accuracy. We want to spend, effective time with you, efficient time with you, but we're not going to bog you down with a bunch of stuff, and we're going to add a lot of work to your plate. We deliver accurate results that are super easy. Again, 4-minute survey that you got to take. Coaches love us. We're we partner. We're about to sign a multi-year deal with the Shrine Game because the NFL scouts love us. We work with all the NFL prospects to show NFL scouts, yeah, this is who you've interviewed. Our process can break out what you look like in an interview versus how you actually are, and what you look like stressed versus how you actually are. So NFL scouts will run up and be like, hey, I just interviewed this guy. What's he really like? And sometimes it's completely opposite, which is insane that we've got this archaic system that, NFL evaluators are like, oh, I bet I'm getting this guy that really loves structure and he's super chatty and all that. No, he's not that at all. You're getting this guy. So it's fascinating, and it's great to help because we do motivations as well, and that's probably the most powerful thing that we experience, because we get all the coaches and all the players to stand up and say we have a list of motivations that's curated for them, and much like you, we went over your motivations, right? And a lot of, especially young people, aren't vulnerable enough often around each other to share those motivations. So when it comes to athletics, life in general, but athletics especially, if every player and coach knows how to motivate specifically every player and coach that they deal with in their organization, it blows the ceiling off, right? I mean, your upside is dramatically different, because right now the only tool that coaches have is, well, if I'm a high school coach, I'll try and motivate them with, hey, you want to win this weekend, right? Or, hey, you want to go play college, right? Or, hey, you don't want to get punished with, suicides, right? Or you don't want, it's either punishment or fear, whatever, right? So with this, we're able to take a dialed-in microscopic approach backed in psychology of what these kids are predisposed to. And it's incredible. One of our partners, ORU, we work with 7 sports at ORU. First year ORU baseball worked with us. They went to the College World Series. So when you consider that, we've worked with all of them since. Now, if you're a student athlete at ORU on a team sport basis, you've got to come to us, or we come to you, obviously, but you've got to go through our process, before you determine who you room with, because we have housing match you up with your roommate based on your psychological predispositions, so you can be your best in the classroom and on the field. So it's been fascinating. I love being here, love meeting all these athletic directors. Again, love Ace Sports for being the title sponsor, and appreciate you coming down and getting me and say, hey, you mind getting in front of a microphone, because it's clearly something that I don't mind.
We know that you're good at being in a microphone, yeah. So, we often in sports, especially football, especially on the podcast that I do, where everything's about relationships. I'm a big relationships over everything guy. And so people that aren't using this yet, right? Like, we still have people, the word archaic, unfortunately, represents a very large percentage of the coaching world, because this has worked for 1,000 years. Why change it, right? If it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, don't break it, is kind of the...
Yeah, that's high conformity. Low conformity says there's more than one way to skin a cat.
That's right, which is 100% me.
There's a lot of people that say, hey, look, the worst thing you can ever say is we do it this way because that's the way we've always done it.
That is by far the worst thing.
Absolutely, but go ahead.
So how are you, I don't want to say coercing, but how are you getting the buy-in now? You're talking about the big university picks you up, NFL scouts are picking you up. What is it that people are seeing based on what team sports consulting is doing that allows you to continue to be in business?
So I think we're coming in at a unique time, because really sports psychology for so long has been, hey, my field goal kicker, has the yips, or
that's it,
or my guy can't make free throws, on the road. What's wrong with him, right? This guy's got a mental block. Hey, go fix this. It's a lot of fire extinguisher type activity instead of fire prevention activity. So we're on the fire prevention side of the cultural, psychological issues and communication issues, but also it's the cognitive side. There's 2 sides to the brain coin when it comes to sports, right? The cognitive side, like S2. I like S2, I like AIQ, I like HRT, I like all those companies. But when C.J. Stroud bombed the S2 and it became national news, and it could have cost him millions of dollars in the draft. And obviously, C.J. Stroud's a great football player. Like, no cognitive test. So with us, we're the other side of that. We're the relational side. We aren't aptitude. We aren't reaction times. We aren't anything like that. We are, how do you connect? How are you going to fit? Like, so much. I think everybody can look at athletes, you know, maybe at their favorite team or maybe their favorite pro team, like, and say, hey, man, maybe – like, my favorite player didn't get drafted to the best situation. That coach really wasn't good for him. Or that locker room wasn't good for him. This, that, and the other. Like, you know, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, you can fix that. Yeah. Like, you can fix that with science. And that's what we do, is we make sure that there's never a situation where these coaches and players do not have the tools to get ahead of that, right? And, again, it's, you know, people talk about, especially in the coaching world, I would argue the books that are probably the most popular are like your probably Pete Carroll's book, and then like Nick Saban's book, or like a Bill Belichick type, right? So like those are two dramatically different approaches, right? Pete Carroll and, you know, Bill Belichick have two completely different approaches, but they're both historic, like, GOAT level coaches, right?
Right.
Well, how is that the case, right? I mean, one size doesn't fit all. It's just as simple as that. So but it's important to know that. Obviously, the famous ones, you kind of know it. You could ask everybody in here, what's Pete Carroll like? And even though they never met him, they could tell you, right? Well, you can't do that with every high school coach. You can't do that with every college coach. So we make that available, and I think that's given us the leg up is, hey, look, you talk about culture all the time, put your money where your mouth is. And when it comes to money, we let the colleges pay a little bit more so we can make it more affordable at the high school level. Because I truly do think that high school sports, like, I think it's a foundational community pillar. I think that, you know, athletes, the character traits and the you know, traits that you instill, values that you instill at the high school sport level, it translates throughout life, right? Like, you can tell when people played sports growing up, right?
For sure.
I mean, you have whole companies. You know, the Department of Defense, I was in Tulsa the other day with Dwight Dobbins. He's an Owasso coach, but he's a big-time trainer, and he was doing a panel in Tulsa. The Secret Service came to town because the Secret Service is looking to hire athletes now. And it's like that kind of stuff, like former athletes, Enterprise has all those commercials about, you know, hey, we like hiring former athletes, you know, 99% of you are, you know, going professional in something other than sports, right? So it's like, it's such a value system, I think, you know, competitiveness, discipline, right? Consistency, right? Respect for authority, right? Like how to work as a team, how to work together towards a common goal. I think it's so important. So that's why we very easily could have taken hey, we had success with college, let's just try and go sign colleges. High schools, we'll price them out, doesn't matter. But it's just not what we want to do. We really want to have significantly more high schools than we have colleges, because in my mind, it's just, it scratches that itch as well of the actual, like, community development part.
I really want to kind of get into how coaches have benefited from using your system or your services. I'm a coach that I don't get along in every circle. Like in high school, I consider myself the lone wolf. I didn't have a group of best friends. I had a whole bunch of like people that I knew. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And that's basically continued into my professional career. So I know it's not just like, hey, that kid's an asshole, because I wasn't an asshole in high school. I'm not really an asshole now. I have to tell people in interviews, and I do it every interview, like, look, I'm just cut and dry. I don't beat around the bush. I'm just going to tell you what the problem is so we can fix it and move on, instead of like pretending it's not your fault for an hour or two or a month or a year until this blows up in our face, right? Like, that's more who I am. So I don't get along in every coaching circle. And so what I want to know is, like, what are coaches doing? What are they finding out about themselves that allows them to work better? Maybe cut a guy on staff, but maybe add a guy they didn't know they needed. Like, how is that working from your system?
Well, it's pretty fascinating because coaches are learning a lot about themselves as far as like what they think their position is. So like every head coach will be like, oh, I'm a take charge, high dominance guy. It's like, I mean, no, you're not. And that's fine. And that's part of it, is being none of it's bad. You just have to be self-aware. Right. Everybody just be self-aware and then get in where you fit in. Like that's all life is. So like, you can be outside of your natural self if you need to, right? If you're not a take charge person, you can for a time, but then you'll get drained. But like with us, baseball, for example, like every baseball coach is told, hey, analytics, right? Baseball's an analytic, a number sport, a stat, all this kind of, and the analytics community is really trying to push that out. You can't watch, you can't talk about NBA or college, athletics on Twitter without seeing, VORP and PER and, WAR and just all this, like all these different acronyms for all these different data points and whatnot. So we've had baseball coaches, which everybody is like, analytics. No, some of them are super intuitive, and they're like, this feels great because I can use this not as a sword, but as a shield to be like, hey guys, look, I know you, like, these players are heavy analytical players. I'm going to take all my coaches that are that and have them go talk to them about specific stats. If you bring, to an intuition person, if you bring stats to them, they're going to be like, you can make numbers say whatever you want them to say.
That's right.
So I'm intuition. That's what I think. You can make a data set say whatever you want. But analytical people, they would think more along the lines of, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So it's interesting. They can tailor their approaches, and I think they learn about themselves how flexible they can be. Because there's a lot of my way or the highway out there, and because that's the only thing they know, and it's kind of an authority position.
What was that you said earlier, like doing it the way we've always done it?
Exactly.
My coach was a my way or the highway, so I have to be.
Right, exactly. But they'll look at this and they'll say, wow, this is, I can learn how to be a better coach by just connecting with my players better, right? Like it's almost just a self-realization of I'm not a stone that's just, hey, I'm the authority here, this, that, or the other. Like, they're a sponge too. Like, they can be pressed in different ways. They can soak in, they can learn, they can do all that, and they can continue to grow year over year as they continue to learn about themselves. So on the field stuff has been awesome because we can look at box scores, and like we can look at a box score of a basketball team and usually be like, okay, if we look at it like by the minute, kind of break down what your starting fives readouts probably look like based on their dominance and patience and pace and all this kind of stuff. We dealt with a basketball team 2 years ago, all starting five, low dominance, high patience. They were terrible in the first half, but they were a good team. They were a good team that year. But they were like, let the game come to us, feel out the defense. You see, and we try not to speculate on people whose readouts we don't have, but think of like a LeBron. He's known to kind of at times like let the game come to him, see how the defense is playing, an analytical type. Whereas Russell Westbrook's like he's going to force you into a decision.
That's right.
That's a real thing. Like that is a psychological difference between those two people. So what's right and what's wrong? I don't know. It's probably good to have a mix of both. For an organization to run well. So it's really cool to see that. We've even seen coaches be like, hey, man, like because ours measures stress, right? And it's like, yeah, man, when I get stressed out, that's exactly what I do. And I got to be better at that because as I get stressed out, I drain myself. So it's something I've got to be aware of when I run out of patience, when I don't feel like I'm being appreciated, respected, I'm being left out. I've got distrust from my bosses. Like working against those and putting them on paper, it just lets you deal with those things. You know what I mean?
We'll get back to the coaches, man. I still laugh at like when I read my readout and it was like, oh, you're unstressed, you're kind of a solo artist, and then when you get stressed, you lean back in the team. And I was like, no, I hate working with people, right? I don't hate working with people, but like I lean more into myself. And then I was like, what do I do when I get like anxious at the house? It's like, hey, wife, let's take this on together. Let's fix this together.
Yeah,
hey,
collaborative
military team, let's take this. Right. So it's like, I want to believe I'm a lone wolf, and everyday life I am, but when the heat gets on, it's like, okay, I know we need to lean into the people and let the team defeat this, right?
Right. Well, and that's what's great is like with you, lone wolf, right? You've said that 2 or 3 times here. Lone wolf, in your mind, positive connotation, right?
Right.
It's exactly. So with you, it's almost when you see something, you're like, no, I'm a lone wolf. I go and attack. I'm an aggressive, animalistic, guy that can go take care of things on his own and whatnot. And then you see, it's like we talk about it, and it's like, hey, you actually want to be around more people, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm saying lone wolf. This is a good thing. What do you mean I want to be around? No, you want to bring your team along with you. You want to do that, which is good too.
Right.
So a lot of it
That's
is just
all
connotation.
good.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
that-
so when you have a conversation with somebody, you can always see which way they want to lean based on the connotation of the words they use.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating because as we spoke about it, it was, no, you want to bring others with you, right? Like that's where it goes. And that's why it's funny. Every time we do a big team or assistants or anything, I'm like, hey, do not open your packets until I can tell you stuff, because the first word in it is dominance, right? Man, you see dominance low and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, it's not testosterone. Like, goodness gracious. It's not competitiveness. Like, geez, it is how you show your dominance. So there's a couple things where I'm thinking about just like stapling them or taping them and or doing something, but I'm like, guys, don't break the seal yet.
Yeah, no, that's a good
So
point.
funny.
What's the old standardized testing, right? You got to break the thing with
Exactly,
your pencil.
yeah, exactly.
Don't do it till we say. Back on coaching.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier I'm kind of a relationships over everything guy. And there are a lot of coaches out there that would say that, but all they know how to do with relationships over everything, their commitment to that process is be nice to people, right? It's like, well, I talk to the players. Well, if your relationships over everything, you want every advantage to build that relationship. What if you don't get along with the kid because there's just some foresight. You can't tell what it is, right? That's where I like what you do, because number one, get rid of the excuses. To say I'm relationships over everything and then not go do what Trav is offering, you're not then, right?
No, you're talking the talk.
That's right, but you're not walking it.
Looks good in the press conference.
Absolutely. So you're not doing everything you can. And then also, how do you handle the kids that you just can't connect with and you don't know why? Are they just not relationship kids? No,
Well,
everybody wants people, right? So there is a way. I think what you do is just allows you to easily find that way to build that relationship, and a good one, an efficient amount of time, whatever you said, or speed, accuracy, and
speed, ease, and accuracy.
That's it, dude. That's amazing, because I don't have all day, right? I don't want to spend 8 hours up here in the summertime with you. I want to get in for summer weightlifting, and I want to go home to my kids and go to the lake and go ride four-wheelers and do stuff. I don't want to be up here all stinking day, but I also need to build that relationship with you. So
Well, and that's what's so funny is you get so many coaches that we work with, and what's really cool is we have a product called Side by Side, and we can actually map the psychological profile of that coach and that player on one, and it compares the two. It gives actionables to say, hey, this is when you two work best together, and oh, by the way, coach, this player may perceive you as this based on your guys' two makeups. Hey, player, your coach may perceive you as this based on this, and they're able to work those down, because the thing is, when a coach is like, man, I can't connect with that player, does the coach ever think it's the coach's fault? No, I haven't met one yet.
Extreme ownership is a real thing, and I 100%
haven't met one yet. I've
and
never met a coach that's like, I can't build a relationship. It's that kid. It's the kid's problem.
Right.
You know, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I just can't get through to him. Okay, well, let's take some accountability first of all, but also, like, there's the kid's just not unreachable. You just have to know how. Like, sure, they're tougher kids to get to, absolutely. But maybe you have a coach on the staff that's better set up to build that relationship. A lot of people that talk relationships, like you said, they're just nice. Or maybe they just know the names of everybody because they study the directory and they can memorize names and faces.
Right.
Or maybe they just say hi, the warm smile or whatever. Those are relationships. No, what do you know about that person? Have you ever had a tough conversation with that person? What do you, like, are you making their life easier in any way? Right? Are they making your life easier? Do you even know what an easy life for them looks like? Like, those kind of things, I think the surface relationships are what a lot of people think they're doing. But I think, to use your words earlier, like kind of the acquaintances that you had kind of in your circles, a lot of athletic directors and a lot of coaches have those type of relationships where it's like, yeah, we know, oh, it's cool. They remember a detail, right? Oh, yeah, you did this. Your mom's name is this. Oh, okay, cool. Like, but we can build it up to where everybody feels like a close friend.
Yeah.
And so the motivations thing, like I said, is probably my favorite, the most powerful tool that we really use. But yeah, it's everybody talks about it. And our coaches, I mean, again, 100% retention rate, they love us. I had Dean Wilson at Bixby was talking about when he came over and took the Bixby job. He made it part of his interview. He said, hey, I'm going to bring this to Bixby. He said, we are a non-negotiable part of his people-first approach. He said he would feel less prepared going into a season without us in his corner for that specifically. We've already got Bixby on the books. Baseball season ended like an hour ago. And he's already like, man, I can't wait to get started again. Because the people that use it, they get it. They understand it. So that's all I ever ask. I'm like, hey, just give us a year.
Yeah.
Give us one. I like our chances.
Have you had an issue with and this is a lot of tools out there, people don't know how to use them, whether it's a tool made for a car or a tool made for a human.
Yeah.
They just don't know what to do with the, like, I'm 100% sure that there are coaches out there that I could have the opponent's playbook and signals and tell them power's coming. They're going to run power here, coach, and we still can't stop it because I don't know what to do with that. Do you run into that where people just get all this info and then they're kind of left at, like, grasping for straws? Do y'all walk them through that? How does that work?
So it's actually that's kind of a stress point for us in the sales process because they're so used to other people in the space that do that give them access to a portal or something and say, all right, here's all these documents, go read them, go do all that. Our process, I mean, they've got my cell. I was on the phone with the coach this morning talking about one of his players, and we were walking through some scenarios with him and whatnot. Every coach always has my cell. Players have my cell. You got questions about it? There are a lot of people, this is personal stuff, and they don't feel comfortable raising their hand and talking in front of the team.
For sure.
I'll absolutely get with you and have a conversation with you. My goal is for you to get the most out of what we do, but we make it so easy. We have 8 different documents where we map the entire team and all kinds of different, however you want the information delivered, we'll deliver the information that way. So you do that, and we give them the playbook, right? Like we say, hey, this is what we should do, actionables. Coach, have him go scan the QR code. We talked earlier. Appreciate it. Sorry about that.
Business on the show.
Hey man, wheeling
Business
dealing,
don't
right?
stop.
So, but with that, we actually go out. We give them, and that's why it's so important to have the head coach at all 3, because it works best if the head coach sees it 3 times, understands our verbiage, talks more about it, has all their readouts, everything like that. Because once you kind of speak the language, like Coach Fulmer, head baseball coach at ORU, National Coach of the Year, I believe, in 2023, College World Series, Hall of Famer, right? Well, like, he gets it now, being in year 3, where he's like, I know it. Like, I know it. I know I'm coming up with new ways, and we have coaches share with us new ways that they use the information. Whether it's operations, whether it's, structural, whether it's workout groups, whether it's, how they communicate with their staff, they're down to their brainstorming sessions. All of that can change, if you're willing to kind of give into the science a little bit and be like, and admit that you're not an expert on it. So that's what I've talked to a couple of the ADs that here, they're like, man, I know I'm not an expert on this. Like, the reason I'm here in this role is not because I'm an expert on relational psychology. It's because I was a good football coach for 20 years. Or I won a lot of basketball games at my high school, and they made me AD. You know what I mean? So, anyways, like, hiring the professionals, hiring us, and just letting us do it. You know what I mean? Like ADs aren't out there, trying to manufacture and put up their own goalposts. No, they're hiring some people. They're not putting up their own video boards. They're hiring ACE,
That's
right?
Yeah.
They're not doing all that. So that's no different than basically outsourcing your relational science. They give you the tools, right, to look good, update, bring in more fans, bring in maybe other investments, things like that, new sponsors and whatnot. And then, facility upgrades, we do the same. We'll give you an opportunity. We are the tool that you use. Easy peasy. We make it super, super easy. And I'm like, hey, text me whenever you want. And I think I even told you at one point, we were talking, I was like, hey, I'm going to get back to you on this. I'm leaving this message open. Like, we're going to talk. I had somebody in my DMs yesterday. They're like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you, but ask me a question. And I was like, hey, look, never apologize for bothering me. I'm like, what?
It's probably one of those readouts, because I'm the same way. Like, you're never actually bothering me, ever. Please just continue messaging me.
Right. And I'll tell you, like, hey, man, like, if you're just hammering away my day, I'm like, hey, man, I can't give this the energy right now, but that wouldn't be any of our coaches or anything, but like just regular Twitter DMs, like asking about OU recruiting or something like that. I'm like, I'll talk to you, but like just don't hammer away and expect me to get back right away. But I promise you I will get back to you.
For sure.
So
sweet, man. Last question on this. Do you find that more of the analytical type coaches come to you seeing how you're an analysis type program?
You would think that, but I think that people that are more intuitive based know that they're not good at the analytics.
Gotcha.
So I think they see us as like hey, look, we need to outsource this. Some people that are highly analytical, they try and do stuff on their own, and there's free services out there, but none of them do anything like what we do. So, I mean, it's like the difference between like YouTubing a workout and like getting a personal trainer. It's like we're the personal trainer. If you put, two people that are built the exact same way. One gets a personal trainer that's with them 24/7, essentially, a resource for them that's there 24/7. And then, a year later, you look at the person that only could work out on YouTube. There's a lot of good information out there, but personal trainer's probably going to have that other person in better shape. Yeah.
Awesome. Trav, it's always great to talk to you, bud.
Hey, man, appreciate you.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Into you some more of these things. We'll be down at Texas High School Coaches Association next Monday and Tuesday. So
oh, nice.
I don't know if you're going to that or not. If
I
not,
will be.
You guys should be. It's the biggest coaches show in the nation.
Yeah, so. We'll be there next year. This year we'll be at Oklahoma Coaches Association Coaches Show, which is in Tulsa, which is going to be great because it's right down. It's literally a mile away from ORU. So we're going to use some of the ORU facilities too. We'll give any Oklahoma coaches watching this. We're going to do free assessments. And then we are going to basically use the ORU facilities to do a big read back as if they're a team or as if they're a staff.
That'll be pretty awesome.
Something like that. So I'm really excited about that. We really want to continue to build out that Oklahoma market because, again, it's our community, right? Like I want to build it regionally as well because these are the people, these are my neighbors, right? These are the people that are going to be, providing services in our area and creating jobs in our area and all that kind of stuff. So,
all right, before I let you go, 2 questions.
Okay.
Super Bowl champs this year, who is it?
Minnesota Vikings, 1960. It's been a long time. Still don't have one, but J.J. McCarthy going to take us home. He is the promised
miracle, and you still couldn't pull it off.
Hey, that's fine. It won't be a miracle this year. We don't need a miracle. Just.
What do you think about Bucks' new uniforms?
The 70s throwbacks. It's the only time that I'll be okay with orange.
Yeah.
The dreams, they're so beautiful. And then Baker will pull the mustache with them.
I hope so.
Oh man, it's a good look. Our boy Parker Thune's a Bucks fan. I know he enjoys them. It's perfect. Like, there's not a lot of quarterbacks could pull off kind of like a photo shoot like Baker can for that uniform.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Got the moxie for it.
Like I don't know who some of the other like quarterbacks around the league where you could be like, all right, we need you to dress up in a 70s uniform and really pull it off. Like,
he set the stage for this, the foundation with his draft day photo.
Yeah,
right?
Favre,
he redid the Favre photo. So I mean, he set himself up for this, but he pulled it off because of who he is. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good. National championship, who's got it? Football this year.
I mean, OU's 12-0 until proven otherwise.
Right.
But man, I think my sleeper pick, which I don't think it qualifies technically as a sleeper pick, but I think people are not talking as loudly about Clemson as they should.
Clemson's always.
I do value continuity. They return their quarterback, their head coach, their offensive coordinator. I think the defense is going to be improved. I think Cade Klubnik is probably a top 3 quarterback.
I was going to say, I think
in the country.
Was this his 3rd year, 4th year starting? He started as a freshman, right?
Part of the year.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a lot of experience to bring in.
Well, yeah, and in a world where you don't have anybody experienced anymore. Look at OU's schedule; they're playing 7 first-time starters at quarterback.
Yeah,
at least at that school. 7 out of the 9 power programs, not just 7 on the schedule. 7 out of the 9 power games. Only Lenore Sellers and Garrett Nussmeier are the 2 returning starters.
And that's going to be
they're both
wild
dudes
to think about. Right. All right, Belichick, North Carolina. How's it going to go for him year 1?
I think it's his farewell tour. I think he is there for 1 year, passes it down to his son. I think he wins 8 games. Doesn't really make much noise. I don't think they have the roster that they need to compete, honestly, with a lot of teams in the ACC. I think Clemson, obviously, as I just mentioned, SMU, obviously, over there. We'll see what Florida State can bounce back. I mean, you talk about mercurial, undefeated season, and then can't win a game, save their life, So we'll see what that looks like. I just don't think they have the horses, and I do think there's just going to be an adjustment period for him at the college game. I mean, he's arguably the GOAT professionally, but man, how much of that was Tom? I don't think he's got Tom Brady.
You have to ask how
understand.
much was Tom. I think this is a weird world where he could thrive if he stays longer than a year because it is professional sports now.
Right, and Lombardi's
I mean?
his GM. I got to talk with him at the Combine for a while. We were talking about working together with Team Sports out at North Carolina and talking about some things they use in the NFL and what they might bring. So, I mean, they've got a plan, but year 1, the problem is I'm not sure if their plan the timeline of their plan matches Belichick's timeline, or at least Bill's timeline.
Right.
Maybe it's a, hey, look, we'll put the timeline in place and your son's going to take over. But I don't see Bill being there for like 6 years trying to really make North Carolina into a power.
Do you equate what he's trying to do, or the hiring of him, to us getting Nagy and having that?
For sure.
But he just happens to be the head coach and the GM.
Oh, no, I would say Lombardi.
Okay.
So hiring Lombardi, who's got tons of NFL experience as well, one of the premier names, obviously. That's the Nagy thing. And I think that Bill's very much, passing that off to him and whatnot. And it's, I had a fantastic conversation with him, and smart guy. Knows what it is. But it's going to take an adjustment period for him too. With Nagy, he's been scouting college, right? He's been scouting college to bring to the Senior Bowl, and he's been scouting college at he's trying to find like NAIA guys that might be slept on, or Division II, or JUCO guys that might be slept on to bring him to Senior Bowl. How much has Lombardi done to that recently? I don't know. Maybe a lot, maybe a little, right?
Right.
Nobody knows. So, I think if you gave me my option, I'm still taking Jim Nagy.
Last OU question, actually last question total, and I'll let you get out of here. I know you as a stars actually matter guy in recruiting, right? You believe that, 35 stars-ish, depending on how many are in the pool that year?
It's supposed to match the first-round picks, so 32 is supposed to be the number, but it fluctuates a little bit.
Right, and so you're a big believer in like 5 stars matter, 4 stars matter, 3 stars. Listen, guys, if you're out there and you're listening to me talk right now and you're thinking, well, there's a lot more 3 stars in the NFL. Well, absolutely there is. There's 35 stars a year. There's 2,500 3 stars a year, whatever, right?
Right.
More of them are going to trickle into the NFL,
right.
whether it's a 3-year contract or whatever.
Simple statistics.
Very, very simple. But Jim Nagy comes along and says, I don't give a damn about stars. I want to recruit the body type. I want to recruit the kid that's got the it factor. I want to recruit. Exactly. How is that going to mesh with how you believe about stars? And do you think that he's helping or hurting the program by not star chasing?
I think I'll put it this way. If it were anybody other than a proven evaluator with an NFL front office evaluation staff, I'd be like, ooh, I don't know. But, he's a guy that it's basically you're asking me, do I trust Jim Nagy to evaluate? Do you trust Jim Nagy to evaluate? Yes, I do. And I think the way to go about it is the way he's going about it with value. I think it makes total sense to say, hey, look, we value this guy. We have our own board. We're not just going to log on to On3 or Rivals or 247 or whatever and then just offer the top 300 kids and then just hope, some pick us. No, we're going to go and evaluate. We're going to have camps. We're going to travel. We're going to do private workouts. We're going to do all these things. And we want to make sure, what do we see in the SEC? Big, explosive, long, strong, right? Big. And you look at the numbers between our defensive line in 2019 and our defensive line going into 2025. Average 30 pounds heavier.
Right.
And a lot of those kids that played in 2019 were 4 stars.
Yeah.
They were highly ranked kids. But there's a difference when it's give me the bigger, stronger, more explosive guy. And not only do I trust my evaluation of him, I trust my coaching staff on the development side. And you need to do that as they introduce a cap, because he's worked with a cap before. And everybody that wants to star chase and go, hey, we need all 5s. Well, Felix Ojo just signed for $5.1 million. Yeah. How many of those can you sign with $20.5 million for your whole athletic department? Yeah. So, and I know, you can do part NIL. Trust me, I know all those conversations. But you have to find value. And it cracks me up because if the evaluations are good and you trust Jim Nagy, good, then they're basically 5 stars in Jim Nagy's mind, which is really all the place I need it to be. It's not like we swung for 5 stars and then we missed, so then we just started offering down our list and then we ended up with 3 stars. It's if you're valuing them up there, go after them just as if you would. So I think when we walk into the grocery store, or say we're booking a hotel room here at Downstream, and you see 2 different rooms and 2 different towers, and you're like, I'm here for the convention. One's got a view to the west, one's got a view to the east. I don't really care. One's $50 cheaper. I'm going to take the ones that's $50 cheaper. You're looking for better value in every place in your life for comparable things.
But those Oklahoma sunsets, though,
they're beautiful.
I'm going to tell you, I've traveled the world literally 3 times. There's no better sunset than Oklahoma.
Well, that's true. But what's interesting is now
$50 expensive or more better? Yeah, actually.
But what's funny is Here, what's unique about here is we're in Oklahoma right now. The visitor or the self-parking is in Kansas. The roundabout that you pull in on is in Missouri.
That's true.
So literally, somebody told me that you can't sports bet in Oklahoma, but you can in Kansas. So there are people, I talked to some people yesterday that have gone to the self-parking lot to place their sports bets because the geofence recognizes that they're in Kansas, and then they walk back over to the casino. Yeah, so it's, but that's the thing. You look for value in every other part of your life, right? If it's comparable, even if it's 98%, right? If it's 97%, like, absolutely. Get the 97% that costs a quarter of it, and then you can get 4 of those, and then see which one rises at the top. And I'll take those 4 97%ers over that 100% and see what happens.
For sure. Sweet, man. Appreciate you very much.
Appreciate you.
We'll get you on again.
It was awesome.
Guys, thank you so much. If you're not already using Ace Sports, acesports.com, go check them out. Check out the video boards. Get a hold of Mark. I'm about to combine y'all's name. Ryan Hughes is the guy here in Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Northwest Arkansas. So if you're around the border states, who you're talking to anyway. He's also got Montana and New Mexico. Mark Bridges is the kind of the main face there in the sales. He's in Arkansas and everywhere else. RJ's here. RJ's up in Kentucky doing some stuff in Texas. RJ's also got a whole bunch of states to be in charge of. So reach out to your local rep. Contact me if you need to, or go to acesports.com. Thank you all very much. We will talk to you top of the hour as we close out here at the 2 o'clock period.